this might be one of the craziest theories I've ever come up with, but okay, so I'm not too keen on the Bible. I'm very spiritual. I do believe in God. I do believe in the human sacrifice, the human savior known as Jesus Christ. To many other people, maybe by a different name, but I do believe in that bridge to the higher power. Um, so our brain is shaped into two lobes, right? I can't really show you like, but it's shaped like that into two lobes, kind of. And when you look at an apple whole, the apple, if cut in half straight down the center, is also shaped similar to the brain lobes. So I was taught that a lot of things in the Bible are pretty much metaphorically. So like you don't know what to believe or what not to believe, but if you're spiritual and you follow signs and you are obedient to guidance and the spirit itself, excuse me, a lot of things may not make sense but will. You get what I'm saying? Like just seeing it, it may not make sense, but spiritually it will. So I'm in a battle between like knowing the Bible and taking it full force to understanding versus reading what I'm seeing but trying to understand it on a metaphoric level. Now, Adam and Eve were kicked out of paradise because they were tempted to taste the fruit, the apple, the forbidding apple, this one apple. The crazy thing about it is they had all these other vegetables and all these other fruits. I'm not an apple fan personally, so if I was going to get kicked out of the garden, it would have been for a strawberry, a kiwi, maybe even an avocado, but not an apple, okay? However, that's if you're looking at it as a fruits and vegetable thing. If you're like, oh, they ate the forbidding fruit, they ate the apple. Honestly, I wouldn't have chosen an apple to get kicked out for. You know what I'm saying? Um, so when you go into a metaphoric phase, the brain lobe, if you cut an apple down the center, the brain lobe and the half of the apple are similarly shaped. So remember that God sacrificed his only begotten son and he died for our will so that we can have free will. And my understanding or to my concept, and everyone don't understand that. Everyone's going to have a different vision. Everyone's going to have a different concept. That's your spiritual guidance. It doesn't all have to be the same. We don't have to all conform to one understanding of God because we're all connected. The same, we have understanding differently, but we're all connected. But you're going to have your own different connection. As like you have three kids. All three kids are not going to be the same. You're going to have one that's a failure, one that does well for themselves, and one that's just normal. Like just examples. That's life. So with the apple and with the brain lobe, they're saying that Eve tempted Adam to eat the apple, whereas my understanding is that's like someone, kind of daring you to do something like, hey, do it this way, he won't mind, or say it this way, he won't mind, or, just do things without integrity, not feeling that no one will notice that you are doing things your own way and not the right way type shit. So it's like the apple itself was not necessarily the fruit that was bitten, but the mind that wandered, the mind that thought it could think beyond the creator, or the mind that uh thought it knew more than it did. That's my concept of the forbidden fruit, or the apple that was bitten. Not saying that it's true, but that's just how I viewed it. And again, I read the Bible, but I don't look at things as it is in the Bible. I kind of take a sense of everything as metaphoric. I also do music, so everything in my head is metaphoric, even if it's directly, to the sum of just being straightforward and blunt. Everything has a metaphoric sense to it. So that's my way of understanding the Bible, and it goes on for many things, many body parts. I feel like the Bible speak of many body parts instead of when you try to look at it as for when the Bible said directly, you get this sense of hallucination because that's where the disbelief come in because you're like, no way, how did this happen, and how does this and that and that and that and that and that, and how does a burning bush just form out the sky? And some people believed it to be marijuana. You know what I'm saying? The apple, he ate an apple and they got kicked out. But in the Bible, it said God is not angry and He's forgiven, but you get kicked out for eating an apple. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was the fruit apple. It was the mind. It was the corrupted mind, the rotten fruit, the mind. So, because that brain thought it knew more than the higher being, and because that brain tried to be slick and thought that it can outslick the higher being, just like your child would do you. You tell your child don't do something, and they still feel like they can outslick you. It was the mind. It wasn't an actual fruit. It was the mind. But again, that's my way of saying it. That don't mean that's the truth, but that's my understanding and my spiritual connection.